Hey, it's Lou. I'm back with another ranking video. This time around, I thought I would do it on my third favorite superhero, or at least third favorite DC hero, and that is Superman. Especially since the new movie just came out on Blu-ray, which I actually have right here, so that's pretty cool. Been wanting to have this bad boy at home for a while. I thought it'd just be fun to do a ranking video on Superman, because why not? I mean, I did Batman. I gotta do Superman. Either way, there's only one movie I'm gonna not include in this, and that's the Justice League movie, just because I don't really feel like talking about it. That's why, like, it's been talked about a lot. I will talk about Batman v Superman though, but Justice League, I feel like I don't have a lot to say about it. I haven't seen that movie in years, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't really feel like watching it again to add it to this video for a ranking. But just know that if it was in the list, it'd be in bottom of the barrel. I don't like that movie at all, but with that out of the way, let's just get into our first number. At number 9 should come as no surprise, but it's Superman 4. Look, I don't have a lot to add to this movie, especially since it's been 3 weeks since I've seen this film, so I'm kind of gonna try to, remember what I saw in this movie, but I gotta be honest with you, this movie's not that memorable. But the only good thing I can say, or good things, are that Christopher Reeve is still really good in the role. That's a given. It was sad that this was his last movie as Superman. I wish they gave him a better script to work with or gave him a better movie, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I like that Margaret Kidder is back, and she actually has a much bigger role in this than the last film. She's not just a glorified cameo. No, she actually does have like a significant role in this movie, and that's great because I like her Lois Lane. Gene Hackman, he's back for this movie, so that's nice. I don't know why he said yes to this because this movie's terrible, but hey, it's nice to have him back. And yeah, that's it. Honestly, there's really not a lot of good things I can say about this movie. I think the story didn't work. I get what the messaging was about nuclear war and how bad it is, but I feel like for this movie, for the context of this film, it just didn't work in my opinion. Obviously, the special effects are terrible. They look really, really bad. I don't like them at all, especially the shot where they reuse Superman flying towards the screen like twice or three times, and it just looks so horrible. And the last thing I will say is Nuclear Man. He sucks. He's not a very good villain. He's lame. I don't like his powers that much. I think the acting for him is terrible, and I'll put a picture somewhere up here just to show you a visual of his costume, but his costume's terrible. I don't like it at all. And the acting for him, absolutely horrible. I could not take that guy seriously, like, at all. He is just a terrible villain. But yeah, Superman, The Quest for Peace, it's a dead last for obvious reasons. At number 8, I got Superman 3. I didn't like this movie that much either. This is a lot more sillier than Superman 4. Superman 4 was a little bit more serious, but that movie was also kind of silly. But this one is just a straight goof fest. And I didn't really like that, honestly. The only good things I can say is that I like Lana Lang in the film. I thought she was pretty good. I like the little scenes she has with Clark. Obviously, I like Christopher Reeve. He's still very good in these films. And that's it, honestly. There's not a lot of good things I can say. I mean, I guess one last good thing I can say is that the special effects are a lot better than Superman 4. But that's it. I really don't like this movie, honestly. I really, really don't. The new villain that they use, I didn't find them interesting. They were just basically a stand-in for Lex Luthor. I don't like that this movie focuses more on Richard Pryor than Superman. Nothing against him. I know he is a good actor and he's a funny guy, but in this movie, I just found him extremely annoying. I hate how they sideline Lois. Again, nothing against Lana Lang. I liked her in this movie, but I just wanted Lois more, and the fact that she only shows up towards the end of the movie for like basically a cameo, I didn't really like, honestly. I thought that was kind of lame. And I guess one more thing I can say positively is that I do like the story about Superman and how he's kind of going through like somewhat of an identity crisis where there's an evil version of him and a good version of him. He's kind of struggling between the two. And I don't know, I just feel like that whole entire plot could have been used to introduce Bizarro. I don't know how, but it would have been interesting, but they don't do that. And the reason he acts like this is because I think something with Kryptonite affects him, but still, it's not a okay, it's not a good movie. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's really not a good movie, but it's a lot better than Superman 4. I can't watch this movie that much because another thing is that I find it boring. I really find Superman 3 boring. I find Superman 4 boring too, but this one just as boring. And if there's one thing a movie shouldn't be, especially a superhero film, is boring. I will never watch this movie again. I honestly couldn't stand it. For me, it was a slog to get through, and that's why it's at my number 8. All right, at number 7, I got Superman Returns, a movie that I grew up watching, so I do have a little bit of nostalgia for, but I don't think it's aged the best. But before I get to that, let me at least say some nice things. I like Brandon Roof in the role of Superman. I thought he was fantastic in the role. I think he embodied the character very well. He looks like Superman and he acted like Superman for the most part. There was one scene where I found his actions a little creepy, but that's just one scene, so it's not a huge deal. But besides that, he is the best part about this movie. Like his Superman and his Clark Kent, the way he portrayed Clark Kent as well was fantastic. I loved him in the role, and I'm glad he got another chance to play the character later on in the CW. As for his costume, which I'll put a picture somewhere up, I think it's good. The only bad thing I can say is that I don't like the dark coloring, the dark red on his symbol, his cape, or his pants, or his boots. But the blue looks fantastic. As for some other good things I can say is that I did enjoy the story. I found it pretty intriguing. The thing is that it's set in the Richard Donner universe, which isn't a bad thing, but it has its faults, which I'll get to a little bit. But at least that means that it ignores Superman 3 and 4, which I appreciate because I don't like those movies. And I guess one other thing I will say, and this will probably be like the last good thing I'll say, is that I really like Lex Luthor in this film, who was portrayed by Kevin Spacey. I thought he did a great job in the role of Lex Luthor. He is very menacing. He's very intimidating. That's something I can't say about Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor in the older films, but this Lex Luthor is, I feel like, is actually a threat. So yeah, he was really good in the role. He's still a real estate schemer, but at least he's menacing in the movie, so that's fine with me. But that might be it. On to my mixed to negatives. The only mixed to negatives I can say is that the action scenes, while a little exciting, it's not the greatest thing. And it's mainly because Superman doesn't punch a lot of people. Like, it is exciting stuff, but this feels like it would be exciting for a movie that came out in like the 80s or 70s. But considering this movie came out in 2006, I kind of expected more, and I just wish Superman would punch more people, which he doesn't. But I get it. This is supposed to be in continuity with the Richard Donner movie, but again, I feel like that's kind of its Achilles heels a little bit. It feels like a movie that's stuck in the past and was released in the wrong time, and I feel like it's homaging those original films a bit too much, and it's to a fault. Another bad thing I can say is that I don't like the casting of Lois Lane in this movie. I think the actress playing her is way too young to be playing Lois Lane, but it is what it is. And I guess one last thing is that the movie can just be a little boring at times, especially the third act. I didn't find the third act to be that exciting. So yeah, even though this is a film I grew up watching, I can acknowledge it's very, very flawed, but it's still a movie I liked. And at my number 6, I got BVS, another movie that I have very mixed feelings on. I'm mostly gonna focus on the Superman aspect of this film because I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my ranking for Batman, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I'll just give the cliff notes on what I like. I still like Henry Cavill in the role. I still think he's good, but I don't like that his Superman in this movie is a little bit more mopier, in my opinion. I don't know. I just wish he smiled every now and then. The action scenes are obviously fantastic. I love them. They're really, really good. I think the cinematography is really good and the score is really good. And I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But again, I'm mostly going to stay with the Superman parts. So here are some things I don't like. I don't like that this movie tries to do a lot of things all in one film. Like it's trying to do Batman versus Superman. It's trying to introduce Wonder Woman. It's trying to introduce the Justice League. It's trying to do Doomsday. All these things, all hosh-poshed into one movie, and it hurts the film a lot. It really felt like this was the movie made just to catch up to Marvel, and they did it all poorly. Like, they didn't put in the work, in my opinion, and it's just not done well. The movie feels very, very messy, unfortunately. I guess another thing I don't like is I don't like how Doomsday looks. I think he looks absolutely terrible. I don't like that they killed Superman off in his second appearance in the DCEU. That was a dumb decision. I don't know why they did that. It felt honestly kind of forced, and it just didn't work. And the last thing I will say that I really, really don't like, or at least a couple other things actually, let me add one more, is I don't like the reasoning for why Batman and Superman fight. I think it's kind of dumb, and I don't like how it's all resolved. That entire Martha scene is very stupid. But the last bad thing I will say is Lex Luthor. I really don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He's probably the worst portrayal of Lex Luthor ever put on screen. He was truly bad, and I wish they casted someone else. I don't know who was the original choice. I think it was Bryan Cranston. I could be wrong, but God, it makes me wish they went with him instead of Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know why they thought picking him was such a good idea. He doesn't even act like Lex. He's way too goofy for my liking, and I just did not like him in this movie. But overall, though, BVS is a decent film, but it's not a film I watch too much. You know, I watch it every now and then. All right, at number five, I got Superman 2, the original cut, like the theatrical cut. I'm not gonna get too in depth in this because I like the Richard Donner cut a lot more, but this movie is basically a more complete version of the Richard Donner cut. The only thing is it's a lot more sillier than the Richard Donner cut, and that's probably the reason why I don't like it as much as the Richard Donner cut. Even though the Richard Donner cut is incomplete, at least it plays it more seriously. This one is a lot more goofier. It's by the same guy who made Superman 3, so kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't hate the theatrical cut, but I don't love it either. I've only watched it a couple times, but like I said, I prefer the Donner cut, which I'm just gonna get into right away. But this is a number five. It's still a decent movie, but like I said, I prefer the other one. Number four, I got Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Like I said, this is a bit more serious than the theatrical cut of Superman 2, and it's probably why I like it a lot more. The only problem is that it is still kind of incomplete. Like, they use a lot of test footage to finish this movie, and it does show. But I'm just so happy that this movie exists, just because, you know, it's really nice to see what was the original intended vision for this movie, and I like it a lot more. I think it's really good. I still think Christopher Reeve is great in the movie. I love the little journey that his Superman goes through in this particular film. I thought it was really well done. I love the scenes between him and Lois. I think they have a lot of chemistry. I think Margot Kidder is really good as Lois Lane in this movie. I think the action scenes are pretty good, and the special effects are really well done. I like them. And I guess the biggest compliment I can give this movie is its main villain. I love General Zod in this movie. He's so menacing, but also funny at the same time. Like, he says some lines that he says I find so amusing, but it's so well done. I love Terrence Stamp as General Zod. I think he did a wonderful job as the character, and yeah, he was really good. As for his goons, I think they're good. Like, I like Ursula. I think she is good in the movie, and I like the actress playing her. The other guy's name I can't even remember, but he's fine. He's basically just a big lunk for Superman to fight. And like I said, the fight scenes are pretty good, and I think the special effects are really good. But I really like Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, even though it is incomplete somewhat, and the way they finished the film had to be done with a lot of test footage. But I admire it. I admire it for doing that, and I like the fact that this movie just exists. Yeah, I wish we lived in a timeline where we just got the original version of this movie done instead of what they did, you know, firing Richard Donner. I wish he got to complete this movie back then, but the fact that it exists in general is just really nice, and I honestly really enjoy it. All right, at number three, I got Man of Steel, a movie that I actually quite enjoy a lot. Like, maybe not as much as others, but I do think it is a good movie. I know this movie's kind of mixed. Some people love it, some people hate it. I guess I'm more so in the middle. Like, I like it. I like it a lot, but I wouldn't say it's like fantastic. But it is really good, and it has a lot of good things. I like the idea of what if we took Superman and basically brought him like in real life. Like, what if Superman was real in real life and he actually did come down to earth, how would that go about? And I think the way the movie does that is actually really interesting. I think Henry Cavill is really good as Superman. It's a shame we'll never get to see him again. He definitely got screwed over, but in this first movie, I thought he was really good and he gave a good performance. I like Lois Lane in the movie. I think she has good chemistry with Superman in this film. I thought that was well done. The costume is good. I do enjoy it. It's very alien-like, but I like it. I think it's a nice, different take on how Superman costume would look, and I thought it was well done. Um, I also like the action scenes to a certain extent. I think they're really good, but I'll get more into that a bit later. Like, they're nice spectacle, but just let me just say it out. The fact that the destruction that happens around the city is a little questionable. Like, I get it. It is maybe a little inevitable, but I wish Superman found a way to prevent less destruction in this movie around the city, because I have a feeling that a lot of people died in that fight scene. But it's still a good fight scene. But when you start thinking about it, the more I feel like it bothers me a bit. But I'll get more into negatives later. But back to positives. I think Michael Shannon as General Zod was fantastic. I love him in this movie. I thought he was great. He was menacing. His motivations, while understandable, I get where he's coming from. It's still not good. Like, the way he goes about it is still bad. But I understand why he's doing what he's doing. He's just trying to bring back his people. So, still not a good guy, though. He does evil things in this movie. I think Russell Crowe as Jor-El was really good. I really enjoyed him. I like Ma and Pa Kent. I think Kevin Costner as Paul was really good. And I think Diane Lane as Ma was also really good. I enjoyed them in this movie. I thought they were really well done. And I don't know if I talked about the cinematography. I thought that was really good. The score is fantastic. I love the score. It's very beautiful. And there are some beautiful scenes in this movie that are just really well done. One that I can think of is the scene where Superman's trying to destroy that machine in the sky. The way that is shot and done is just really, really good. And I think it is a bit emotional. But yeah, that might be it. As for negatives, like I said, I don't really like the destruction that happens towards the end. I think it was poorly done. Like, when you think about it, it does bother me a bit. As for Superman snapping Zod's neck, I mean, that didn't bother me, honestly. He didn't really have a choice. I don't get why people are bothered by that. It's not a huge deal for me. Like, in my opinion, it really isn't a huge deal. It does not bother me at all. He had no choice. That's more of a thing he did once and will never do again. And the fact that they just try to make Superman, or at least look like Jesus. Like, there's a lot of Jesus symbolism in this movie, and I don't know why they do that. That might be a weird thing to complain about, but I just don't get why they're doing that with Superman. Superman is Superman. Like, stop trying to do that. I thought that was weird, but that is just a minor nitpick. But overall, though, I like Man of Steel. I think it's a really good movie, and I quite enjoy it. Maybe not as much as others. Like, I know some people love this movie. I wouldn't say I'm on that camp, but it's a movie I do like and I quite enjoy. Yeah, one final thing to add, kind of last minute change, is I also didn't like Ursula or the other guy. I think they're not as good as they were in Superman 2. In this movie, they're just kind of there. But yeah, that's it. Back to the ring. All right, at my number 2, my most anticipated movie of 2025. I was really excited to watch this, and I'm just so happy it lived up to almost all of my expectations, and that is Superman 2025. I love this movie. This is probably the most comic booky Superman movie we've ever gotten, and I absolutely adore it. I'm just going to give you the cliff notes of what I love, because I might do a review of this, or I will do a review of this, a full depth review on this film one day. But so many things, man. So many things that I love about this movie. Firstly, Krypto. He's adorable. I freaking love that guy. He's such a cutie in this movie, and I loved every time he showed up. He honestly does steal the show. He's a good boy. He's adorable. I think Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane was fantastic. I think the Justice Gang were really, really good. I love Guy Gardner in this movie. He's absolutely hilarious and douchey, but still a good guy at heart. I think Nathan Fillion did a wonderful job in the role. I really like Mr. Terrific. He's another character that steals the entire show. I can't pronounce the actor's last name, so I'm just gonna say Eddie. Eddie is fantastic as Mr. Terrific. I love his fight scene. I love his costume. It looks great. Like seriously, that fight scene is amazing. It's one of the scenes I look forward to the most when I watch this movie, and it's just really well done. I really like Hawkgirl in the movie, but unfortunately, she is underutilized a bit and she's not in it as much as I hoped she would, which is one of my complaints. Is just they kind of underutilize her and that kind of sucks. But I also like Metamorpho. I thought he was really good. I love the story. I think it's really well done, and I just love how emotional the movie can be at times, especially with the smaller scenes. Like my favorite scene in the entire movie is definitely the scene between Paul and Clark. I just think it was a really well done scene, and it's one of the scenes in the movie that honestly gets me a little teary eyed. It's just a beautiful conversation these two individuals have together, father and son. Just the conversation they have is really, really good. And I think the actor who portrayed Paul Kent was amazing. Same with Ma. Like the actress who portrayed Ma was really good. But on to the two biggest things why I love this movie. And that is David Cornsweet as Superman and Lex Luthor as, or sorry, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Let me get to the Lex Luthor first. Lex Luthor, this is probably maybe the best portrayal of him ever put in a movie. Like seriously, it feels like he was stripped right out of the comics. He's petty, he's evil, he has LexCorp as a corporation, a business. He is just a slimy guy in this movie, and he's really evil. And I think Nicholas Hoult did just a wonderful job as Lex Luthor. He really is great in this movie, and I wanted to see his downfall. And David is just fantastic as Superman. He did such a wonderful job. He might be my favorite, but I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I gotta see more of him, but he's still, like, for now he's my second favorite. He personifies Superman. He's kind, he's compassionate, he's caring. He goes out of his way to save everyone, not just people, but also squirrels, dogs, every living creature. And he is a Superman that is kind. He shows kindness to everyone, even towards his enemies. Like, this is how I wanted my Superman to be portrayed. And I think James Gunn knocked it out of the park with how he portrayed Superman in this movie. This Superman feels very human, and I appreciate that so much. And I think a lot of it really does have to do with David's performance. He is fantastic in the role, and I can't wait to see more of him. As for his costume, I really like it. I'll admit, at first I wasn't the biggest fan, but after seeing it in motion in the film, I actually really dig it. I think it's a really good costume, and I can maybe even see myself wearing it at like a costume party. Like, I really like the costume. It's really good. The fight scenes are fantastic. All of them. There's not one bad fight scene. I think all of them are really good. The movie is paced pretty well. And I love the music. That's another thing I gotta say. The music is fantastic. I really, really like it, and it's the music I listen to a lot on Spotify. Let's just say that it's really well done. And like I said, it's just a very emotional movie, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I love Superman 2025. It lived up to almost all my expectations, but I do gotta give it some negatives. My first is that I don't like that they underutilized Hawkgirl. I do wish she was in the movie a little bit. And I will admit, while I appreciate the movie's world building, I feel like it does do a little much, like a little bit, like not too much, but it can be a little much for, I guess, the normal audience. But since I'm not really the normal audience, I know who a lot of these characters are. It's not a huge deal for me, but for anyone who's just a casual viewer, I can see that being something that bothers them a bit, especially since they don't know a lot of these characters, because they don't tell you a lot. Like, they just throw them in there, and that's them. Like, that's the characters. I think comic book fans will know who these people are, but casual viewers may not. Not a huge deal for me though, but I can see that being something that bothers casual viewers. And I guess one last thing I gotta say negative is that, well, the reveal on who Ultraman is pretty obvious. It's not a secret. Like, I don't know why the movie tries to make it seem like it's a secret. It's really not. And actually, one more thing. Some of the CGI looks a little funky. Specifically, some of the flight scenes. Like, a lot of them are good, especially the first flight scene. I think that one was fantastic. But there's this one particular flight scene done somewhere in, like, the second act. It just doesn't look the best, in my opinion. It looks kind of funky. And, yeah, I don't like the reveal on, or the change, sorry, on Superman's origins, on why his parents sent him to Earth. Really didn't like that at all. But that's really it. I love this film. I'm so happy that I finally got it on Blu-ray, and I'm gonna watch it many, many more times. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, if not my favorite movie of the year. It may not be my favorite Superman movie, but I think one day I'll get to there. But yeah, Superman 2025, it was fantastic. I love it. At first place, I got Superman, the movie. Not gonna lie, the biggest reason I have this at number one is because of nostalgia. I grew up watching this movie. I watched it on repeat a lot as a kid, and I just love it. Like, is it objectively better than Superman 2025? I don't know, maybe, debatable. But for now, it's my number one. Like, I still love this movie. I still think Christopher Reeve is fantastic as Superman. He probably still is the best Superman in my opinion. I love him in this role. A lot of the things I liked about David are the things that are also done in this movie. The Superman is kind, he's compassionate, and I really appreciate that. I think it's well done. And again, it's just Christopher Reeve just is really good in the role. He is really good as Superman. There's a reason why every time you see like a top 10 list of best superhero performances, there's a reason why he always shows up in the list, and maybe even shows up as number one, because he really is good in the movie. Like, he is Superman, and I love him in the role. His costume also looks really good. I love it. It's classic. It looks a lot like it does in the comic books, and it's just, again, it feels like it's stripped out of the comic books, and it looks great. I think the story was really good. I really enjoyed it. This is probably like the best origin story for Superman ever put into a film. I really like it. I really like the couple action scenes we do get. I think it's really nice. I love the score from John Williams. I think it's fantastic. The movie is shot well. I think it does look really good. Um, what else I can say about this? Oh, Margaret Kidder. I think she's fantastic as Lois Lane. I think she has great chemistry with Christopher Reeve, and I like it. I like seeing them together in this movie. I just think it's really well done. But I guess the only things I can say that I don't like is, well, I don't hate Gene Hackman. I think he is really good in the movie. He gives a good performance. I just don't like that Lex Luthor is a real estate guy in this film, or a real estate scam artist. I don't know if he was like that in the books originally, but by the time this movie was made, I don't know if they changed that a bit. But either way, like, Gene Hackman isn't bad in the role. He's just not how I would prefer Lex Luthor. But honestly, that might be it. I really like Superman the movie. I think it's fantastic. For a first attempt at a Superman movie, I think it was really well done. It still gives a lot of the awe and wonder you expect from Superman. And it's just really good, man. Like, I love this first movie. It's probably one of the best superhero origin stories done in a movie, and it's just really good. But for now, it's my number one, even if it is for nostalgic reasons. But that's it. That's my list. I know this entry wasn't as long as Superman 2025, but I'll go more in depth with this movie too one day. But all you really need to know is that I love this film. I think it's really good. But yeah, let me know how you would rank these movies in the comments below. And also, I'm kind of curious, do you like Superman more than the new one, like the original one, or do you like Man of Steel more than Superman 2025, or just like that movie more than both of my number one and two? But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.